Hanna Ming uploads another Jungkook video. ARMY asks, love or obsession? Is this still admiration, or has it quietly turned into something much deeper and far more alarming? After her first video swept through fan communities with a mix of awe and amusement, Hanna Ming is back again. But this time, the reactions aren't just praise, they're questions. Hanna Ming, crowned Miss Universe Korea 2022, has long been known as a proud and vocal ARMY. She's not new to the fandom. Back in 2023, she publicly showed off her customized phone case and wallpaper of Jungkook from the Butter era, earning nods of approval from fellow fans. But after her second post about Jungkook's military discharge hit Instagram just days after the first, many are now asking, what exactly is she trying to say? Her initial post was poetic, captioned with the emotionally charged, "Baby discharged." The video featured footage of Jungkook's return from the military, flower bouquet in hand, camera flashes in the background, and a nation holding its breath. She paired this clip with a photo of herself in a dazzling Miss Universe gown, shimmering with silver and blue, standing in quiet contrast to Jungkook in his crisp military uniform. The visual duality, a beauty queen and a global pop icon, was elegant, cinematic, even moving. But then came the second video. Posted just days after the first, this one was different. Not reposted content, but something more personal, more stylized, more deliberate. The slow-motion clip of Jungkook walking out of the military base, eyes scanning the crowd, was juxtaposed with a video of Hanna staring directly into the camera, blinking slowly, as if silently responding to his gaze. The background music? Jungkook's own self-written ballad, Still With You. That's when ARMY started whispering. This feels like fanfiction. One ex-user wrote, "Sis, slow down. This fandom can get scary," another joked. But underneath the laughter, a ripple of discomfort started spreading. The same fans who had once applauded Hanna for being a stylish, sophisticated ARMY ambassador began to look twice. Was this just a heartfelt tribute from a loving fan? Or was something off? A now viral comment read, "She's beautiful, smart, and a fan." But it's starting to feel like she's creating a narrative. Like she's trying to make us imagine something more. So far, there's no evidence of any direct connection between Hanna and Jungkook. No photos together.
No interviews. No DMs leaked.
No rumors of actual contact. Nothing official. Just videos. Carefully edited, perfectly timed, and undeniably focused on one person only, Jungkook. The timing of her second post raised even more eyebrows. She uploaded it just as the hashtag #WelcomeBackJungkook was trending worldwide. Was it simply perfect timing? Or was she aiming to insert herself into the narrative of his grand return? The fandom is now split. Some defend Hanna fiercely. She's just celebrating like the rest of us. Leave her alone. Others are more skeptical. Once is a tribute. Twice is a pattern. What's next? A wedding montage. It isn't just fans who are weighing in. A digital culture analyst, when asked about the situation, said, "When public figures express admiration for celebrities, it walks a fine line. It's easily misinterpreted, especially when done repeatedly and without context. People begin to write their own stories." And they have Point One ARMY compiled a full thread tracking Hanna's Jungkook-related content, from old fan reposts to styling videos that subtly hint at Jungkook-inspired fashion. Her captions are increasingly emotional, her edits more dramatic. One particularly eyebrow-raising clip was titled, "My King is Home." All of this begs the uncomfortable question, is this genuine affection, or is it turning into parasocial obsession? There's a delicate balance between being a fan and becoming a central character in a fantasy the subject never signed up for. The boundary is invisible, but once it's crossed, it becomes very difficult to ignore. So far, Jungkook has remained silent, as he always does. He hasn't acknowledged Hanna's posts, hasn't responded to them publicly, and as of now, does not follow her on any platform. But in the world of K-pop, silence isn't peace. It's suspense, and that silence only amplifies the speculation. Does Jungkook even know Hanna posted about him? twice? Or is his team aware and strategically choosing to ignore it, hoping it passes? Hanna, meanwhile, continues to live her life in the spotlight, balancing charity work, brand deals, and social media engagement with her unapologetic love for BTS. Her advocacy for cancer awareness, rooted in personal loss, remains inspiring. But that's not what the world is watching now. The world is watching her next move. Will she upload again? Will it be Jungkook? And if it is, will the fans still believe it's love? Or finally call it what they've feared all along, obsession? This isn't just about a beauty queen and a pop star anymore. It's about the lines we blur between admiration and fixation. About how easily the internet turns fiction into public reality. About how silence speaks, and sometimes says too much. As the fandom holds its breath, waiting to see if another video drops, one question continues to echo across the timelines, comment sections, and fan forums. Does Jungkook know she's watching? And more hauntingly still, does he want her to stop? What if he can't stop her? Because the world doesn't know how to stop obsession when it's dressed in glitter and framed with filters. The internet has changed what it means to be a fan. No longer just a distant admirer cheering from the sidelines. Fans now have tools, platforms, algorithms, visibility. And when that fan is a public figure, a celebrity in her own right, the lines between audience and performer, between idol and equal, begin to blur in dangerous, seductive ways. Hanna Ming is not your average army. She has over 100,000 followers. Her posts get picked up by media outlets.
Her Videos Trend.
She isn't shouting in a sea of millions. She's holding a microphone and the world is listening. What happens when a fan's voice becomes too loud? Some might say, let her be. After all, she's not doing anything wrong, technically. She hasn't crossed any legal lines. She hasn't invaded Jungkook's privacy. She hasn't claimed they're dating. But intent and impact are not always the same. The fandom knows this. That's why they're on edge. Because while the media may play this off as harmless admiration, armies, who've spent years protecting BTS from obsessive attention, from satiating fans, from media manipulation, know what it looks like when things go too far. They've seen fan accounts turn into stalker accounts. They've watched admiration evolve into entitlement. And some are beginning to wonder, is Hanna's admiration beginning to follow that path? One post, then another, maybe another tomorrow. Each one feeding a fantasy the public didn't ask for, but is now being made to watch unfold. Will she stop only if Jungkook responds? And what if he never does? Because here's the silent tragedy of parasocial relationships. They do not require reciprocation. They survive, thrive, even on the illusion of connection. Hanna doesn't need Jungkook to reply to believe there's a moment being shared between them. And the more she posts, the more some fans fear she's not just posting for attention, but for him. Some are now describing her content as cinematic love letters. Others call it one-sided romance turned storyline. A few even theorize that she might be setting the stage for a future book, brand, or even a show, capitalizing on the attention she's receiving under the guise of fangirling. Because let's be honest, in the age of virality, anything can be monetized, especially feelings. But who pays the price? Is it Hanna, if this fantasy spirals beyond her control? Is it Jungkook, if he's forced to address a situation he never created? Is it ARMY, watching their safe space morph into a stage for a show they didn't audition for? And deeper still, what does it say about our culture that we allow this? We celebrate obsession when it's pretty, when it's neatly edited and set to music. We give it hearts, comments, retweets. We don't call it what it is, we romanticize it. Because if the woman is beautiful, if the story is dramatic enough, if the idol is silent, then it becomes entertainment. But Jungkook is not a character. He is not part of a fanfic. He is not a scene partner in a self-written fantasy. He's a man, a real one, who has just returned from 18 months of service to his country, who has barely spoken since his discharge, who may be dealing with things the world has no access to. And now, whether he likes it or not, he's being included in a narrative he never chose. Does Hanna realize this? Maybe she does. Maybe she thinks she's just playing along, harmlessly. Maybe she thinks she's showing love. Maybe she even believes she's speaking for ARMY. But more and more fans are saying, she's not. She's speaking for herself. And it's getting louder. The longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to untangle admiration from fixation, from aesthetic to agenda. And at the center of it all is a 27-year-old man who might just want to live his life in peace, without becoming the backdrop of someone else's fantasy. But peace is a luxury idols rarely get. And now, with every new upload, every side-by-side montage, every slow-motion stare Hanna shares with the internet, one truth becomes painfully clear. She's not just watching Jungkook. The world is watching her watch him, and we can't look away. The question is, how much longer will she continue? Is she building up to something? Will her next post contain even more direct references? Will there be a confession? A coincidental encounter? A third video? A fourth? A fifth? Will this become a pattern? Will other influencers follow? And if Jungkook finally speaks, what will he say? Will it be a polite thank you? Will it be silence again? Or will he finally draw a boundary? The fandom waits. The media waits. Hanna's next post is no longer just content. It's a symbol, a flashpoint, because this is no longer about Jungkook alone. It's about all public figures who are silently being cast as characters in stories they never agreed to. It's about the fine line between tribute and territory, between affection and appropriation. And most of all, it's about the price of admiration in the digital age. Hanna Ming might think she's telling a love story, but the rest of the world is beginning to see something else, a spotlight, a stage, and a mirror reflecting something darker. What happens next is up to her, or maybe, finally, it's time for Jungkook to decide.